Dragon Ball Daima ending explained. This is for episode 20 review. And I'm going to give you a breakdown of episode 20 and kind of give you the explanation about the ending for Dragon Ball Daima and my insights, my thoughts, and my opinions. So, let's get into this video. So, episode 20 begins where episode 19 left off. Goku transforms into Super Saiyan 4 in his adult body and begins to fight against Goma. And he begins to smash and wreck Goma all over the place. I mean, there's just a spectacle that we get to see Super Saiyan 4 Goku just manhandling Goma. And pretty much you just have to see the episode to see the visuals, the effects, the fight. Everything is just amazing and look like something out of like Dragon Ball Super Broly. To me, even better. Now, at this point, they still have Piccolo on the sideline. And so at this point, Goku is mashing, Goma, and he begins to power up. When he starts to power up, the visual effects, I can't stress it even much. Like, the visual effects when Goku is powering up, he is just, this is probably one of the greatest power-ups in Dragon Ball history. And I thought he was gonna perform a Dragon Fist for a minute there. If he did a Dragon Fist, I would have been shocked. Some people said they thought he was gonna transform, but when he put his hand down, it just gave me that effect that I thought he was gonna probably perform a Dragon Fist on Goma. But then he begins to, stop powering up, and then he begins to power up a super Kamehameha. Like, this is one of the greatest Kamehameha that we've seen in the series. It's up there next to my favorite Kamehameha, which was Goku versus Vegeta on Earth. That was probably one of the best Kamehameha that we've seen. But he begins to power this up, and Goma begins to power up this huge blast, and they ended up blasting a hole through Goma, and this blast ends up cutting through all the different demon realms, putting a hole, and even the water starts to leak from Demon Realm 2 into Demon Realm number 1. And of course, I also skipped over this in the fight when Super Saiyan 4 Goku was fighting against Goma. There was a point where Goma released a new technique where he was shooting these type of like orbs from the third eye, and Goku was dodging them, and they even looked like they went into like this whole different realm in the fight. So this is just showing like the feats and power scaling for Super Saiyan 4 and Goma in this fight is unbelievable and out this world, and it's gonna definitely spark a lot of debate about the Super Saiyan blue. But first thing I do want to say also into this video is that I was right. When I did an explain video, you can go check out these other videos about Super Saiyan 4 and explain, and people talking about that they thought Goku cannot access, Super Saiyan 4 only through magic. And I was like, that's not the case, because I think with Neva's ability, even when I went to explain Neva's abilities, and he kind of just brings out the person to like a prime form of themselves. So if Goku at the end of the episode was talking about pretty much pushing himself, knowing he could get this form after training his fight with Majin Buu. And of course, Vegeta trained and got Super Saiyan 3, so Goku was pushing his limits. And Goku always said when he explained Super Saiyan 3 back in Z that he'd dig further to kind of like pull Super Saiyan 3 out. So if he kept digging further, he would have got that primal power and got Super Saiyan 4. So Never just kind of just activate and brought him to that form. But it doesn't look like Goku could control his Super Saiyan 4 transformation, even though he transformed into it at will and stuff. I don't think he still got that full control. Even like in a tournament power, him using UI and was able to kind of like transform. But is this like probably like a switch? Like Goku was just in, it's almost like you're in a clutch moment where your drilling is going and you just activate it. But it's going to take Goku some time to really work and train to activate that power. So who knows? But ultimately, this episode was great. And at this point, after Goma gets a hole blasted through him, he begins to power up and heal himself and make barriers. Everyone decides to attack, and Piccolo is even trying to like knock the third eye from the back of his head, and this is what sparks Goma to go crazy and say they're not gonna, knock the third eye out of his head, and starts to go crazy. But in this midst where everyone is attacking him, the least expected likely ending was, Dr. Rinsu's thinking that the book might have more clues to pretty much defeat Goma and take that third eye out. And when Majin Buu goes to get it, he rushes in and hits Goma in the back of the head with that giant book, and is the one to knock that third eye from Goma, and Goma reverts back to his original self, and they defeat him. And at this point, Marble shows up, and pretty much they trap Goma and Degasu inside this potion container, which is almost like a Mafuba technique, the evil containment wave, where they trap them in there for 100 years. And Piccolo's like 99 for him not being completely evil. But, they do get a glimpse of what they're doing in there, saying, they're playing video games and just hanging out, and Goma's like ready to leave and stuff like that. But Majin Ku ends up becoming the new, king of the demon realm, and starts to employ everyone as his ministers, and Dr. Rinsu as his vice, demon king, and almost like a politician in a little bit. And the other thing that we see in this episode, of course, they don't really answer a lot of things. They don't really answer too much of Super Saiyan 4. We get Goku and Vegeta talking about, Vegeta asking Goku, what is that transformation? And Goku explains that, he was training some special training after he fought Majin Buu. And pretty much he always knew he could kind of like reach something, but he just didn't really know if he can like really do it or not. The same thing with Goku's kind of said when he did Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken. He wasn't really too sure, but I think Neva just kind of, like I said, Neva kind of brings someone to their prime when he uses his magic on them, and this probably was Goku's prime form, and he was able to bring it out of Goku in that time frame. Now, probably later on, I think why Goku do not use this transformation in Supers, because without that, full knowledge of how to like fully dig deep in all the way, maybe Goku needs to experience some type of like, danger to fully push himself to reach in deep to pull this out. He hasn't been able to do that yet. But this is probably the reason why he was training on King Kai's planet in Battle of Gods before Beerus got there, so he can try to reach this transformation. But later on, like I said, back in the show, everyone decides to go back to the other demon realm. And at this point, Goku, there is a hidden message at the end, like a last, end credit scene where they go back to visit the place where they got the bugs, and they realize there is more third eyes over there. And the lady explained to them that she has two more, and that only somebody brought one long ago because they're expensive. So now everyone is kind of shocked. So my guess is that for the ending of Daima, like I explained in previous videos, I said multiple times that they may do a season 2 of Daima and have it to answer the rest of these unopened, questions, because I don't think they plan to do Daima as just a one-shot show and that was it. Especially with Toriyama's passing, that was unexpected. But I do think they do probably want to still create a series, because they want to animate it running even if Super is not coming back no time soon. So I think there will be a season 2 for Daima, and these are just my thoughts. Lock it in and take it for what it's worth, that I think there's going to be a season 2 for Daima that's coming. And a lot of things are left open, because Majin Ku even tells them to, come back if they have any like more danger and threats to fight everybody off. So I think all that is possible for it to happen. But I'll be back with an even more deeper in-depth video explaining more. This is like a part 1 of explaining the ending, and I got to get more into, a little bit deeper. I got to go right now, but I'll be back to give you a little bit more details and my thoughts on this episode. But definitely check out the episode. It's a great episode, and I enjoyed it. And the ending, a lot of people are disappointed because we didn't get to see Fusion. And I'm going to go into all that stuff in an even more in-depth breakdown about the ending of Dragon Ball Daima.